Hey folks, Dr. Joe Esposito here. I am once again happy to say that I'm glad you're here. I really enjoy having you guys here. Hopefully, we always give you new information that you're going to walk away from saying, wow, my life is better because of this. And I believe that in all the years I've been lecturing, 40 years I've been lecturing now, about 13 years on radio and television. I don't think we've ever done a show where people didn't walk away going, wow, I learned something today. So we're going to cover menopause today. Now, don't flip the channel yet because, I'm a man, I don't have to worry about that. I'm young, I don't have to worry about that. Yeah, you do have to worry about it because we're all going to run into people that are going through menopause, and I want you to understand how to spot it and what to do about it. My mother, I miss her dearly. My mother, I remember her having these fits, yelling, crying, and as a small child going, what did I do? Why is she crying? Later on in life, when she finally realized what it was, because it wasn't talked about back then, when she finally realized it, she said, I watched the Phil Donahue show and they talked about PMS. She had never heard that word before, premenstrual syndrome. And she said, I remember the show, and she says, it changed my life because I realized that I wasn't crazy. It wasn't just me. So hormones play a big role in all of our emotions, men and women. But as we get older and our reproductive years start to change and we go through menopause, women, men go through it too, actually, because we go through a process where we're not as, our hormones are changing too. Testosterone is dropping. We don't have the musculature we used to. We don't have the hair that we used to, the brain function, the sex drive. And so we all go through these changes. And I want to not just discuss menopause, but as we get older, what happens to the body. So one of the things you can do is keep a diary. And I recommend we do this for a lot of different health issues. But if you go to our website, drjoe.com, and go under patient forms, it's clinic and then patient forms. One of the forms we have is called a diet diary. You can print it up. It's free. I don't know if you're there or not. We have no way to track that you've gone to the website. And you can write down what you eat and then write down how you feel. I do this for headache patients. I do this for chronic pain patients. And many times you're able to find out where the problem is. So you might realize that you're having hot flashes because you had caffeine or alcohol or you were stressed out. So write down what you're eating and then in the margin write, today was a stressful day. Today I had headaches. Today I had hot flashes. Today I had urinary incontinence, whatever it is. And many times you're able to see, for example, caffeine can cause headaches. Artificial sweeteners like aspartame and sucralose can cause headaches. You might miss a meal. You might get hunger. And hunger can cause headaches. So it's a really neat way to monitor any symptom you have, but today specifically, we're talking about change of life symptoms for men and women. So you might have night sweats. That's an issue. The temperature in your body is controlled by something called the hypothalamus. The hypothalamus is a part of the brain that's a thermostat. And what happens is when you're younger, you're producing estrogen. Estrogen is released. It goes into the hypothalamus and acts like a key. And it controls the thermostat up and down. As you get older, your estrogen levels drop for women, and you're going through menopause, or perimenopause is like you're getting ready for menopause. So the estrogen levels are lower, so you don't have as much estrogen affecting the hypothalamus, and so you have these temperature changes. Might be hot, might be cold. And so a lot of it has to do with estrogen not impacting the hypothalamus like it's supposed to. So you got to start to figure out, and that's why keeping a diary is really important. So maybe I ate a lot of animal protein and it had estrogen-like products in it and it changed my temperature. Or I didn't have animal protein. Or I didn't drink enough water. And you can look at all these things that might affect the hypothalamus, which is the thermostat in the brain, and see why those night flashes are coming up. If you're able to do things like this, you're able to get better sleep. And sleep is really important. I've covered this on so many different shows. Sleep is when the body heals. So if you're having trouble sleeping, go to our website, drjoe.com, and type in the word sleep in the search bar, hit enter, and you could listen to a show we did on sleep. So there are things you might be doing that's affecting your sleep and you don't even realize it. Could be stress, could be waking up to pee, could be too hot, too cold, not enough light, not enough darkness, sound, temperature, wearing socks, not wearing socks. We go through all the different options. And the website, by the way, has, over 2,000 hours of podcasts. So type in what you're looking for: high blood pressure, low blood pressure, diabetes, cholesterol, women's health issues, men's health issues, romance. We do a show called The Food Sex Connection, which is a lot of fun. We do that around Valentine's Day. And look for the different shows that we've done and listen to the shows, and then keep a notepad, because I do something that I know you yell at me all the time for. I talk too fast. I talk fast because I got a lot to cover. And I'm also from New Jersey. So write down the tips. If you have any questions, you can always send us questions through the website, drjoe.com. More than happy to answer your questions for you. A little bot pops up. Type in your question. Give us some time to get back to you. Joe, my assistant, or I will get back to you with the answer. And in most cases, you're going to find that this is the answer that you've been looking for when it comes to healthcare. We have doctors and insurance companies and hospitals send us questions. We got this case. What do we do with it? And we give them advice for that as well. So drjoe.com, great source of information. If you're a podcast junkie, just type in your podcast service, Dr. Joe for the health of it. Dr. Joe for the health of it. And we have several hundred hours of podcasts out for your podcast service as well. So other things as we go through Change Your Life, men and women. Hormone changes can change our function. So for men, it might be sexual dysfunction. For women, it might be vaginal dryness. It might be loss of sex drive for both men and women. Luckily, there are things out there that you can do. So for women, I'm concerned because many times they have these lubricants out there, and the lubricants have something called endocrine disrupting hormones in them, like phthalates. And these are chemicals that you're putting on very sensitive parts of your body, and it's going to adversely affect your hormones. So as far as a lubricant goes, I recommend coconut oil. Coconut oil works very well, and it's non-toxic, and it doesn't have chemicals in it or scents or perfumes. And so coconut oil will be the best thing for you when it comes to a lubricant. Now, there's a supplement on our website for men and women. It's called Women's Hormone Support and Men's Hormone Support. I take that every day. And what it is, it's the precursor, the building blocks to my sex hormones. So men's and women's, very similar. Men's is just a higher dosage than women, but you can take that every day, and I think you should. Now, there's another supplement on the website called Estrogen Regulator. I do not recommend women perimenopausal or menopausal take this. This is for younger women and men. Do not take it if you're probably around 40-ish, 35, 40, or if you're certainly childbearing years. It's okay to take for men and women in their younger years. So again, I'm telling you not to take supplements sometimes because not every supplement is made for everybody. But when your body needs a little help, coconut oil works real well. For men, we don't have a nurse practitioner yet. We should have one next week or two. We have something called acoustic wave therapy. And a nurse practitioner needs to administer it. I can't administer it as a chiropractor. But it's totally non-invasive. It's a little machine, and it sends sound waves, essentially, into an area. So we can use it for joints. We can do it now for your shoulder, your arm, your hip. Amazing results we're getting with this. Acoustic wave therapy. Patients, one of my doctors, I won't say her name, I didn't get permission to, but she couldn't lift her arm up for years. She works out, she's in great shape, and we did acoustic wave therapy on her one time. She was able to move her arm again. So we can do this for men and women for sexual dysfunction. And what it does, it sends sound waves into the areas, the men and women's private parts, and it can stimulate new blood vessels to grow and can recruit stem cells, your own natural stem cells. And in most cases, no drugs, no surgery, very effective for men and women function. Again, we have to get a nurse practitioner to do it. That should happen next couple of weeks, actually. So extremely effective, non-invasive, non-drugs, no needles, nothing. Then we might add something like nitric oxide. Nitric oxide opens up your blood vessels, increases circulation to the sex organs, your brain, everywhere else. And then most importantly, we have to check the nerve supply in the low back. The nerves in the low back control the colon, the sex organs, and the bladder. So if you have a pinched nerve in the low back, you might have pain, back, hips, legs, knees, and ankles, but it also controls the sex organs and the bladder and the colon. So as we get older, we might leak urine, cough and sneeze, leak urine. For men and women, maybe loss of sexual function, not only desire, but function. And so we have protocols set up for that. Non-invasive, very inexpensive compared to a lot of treatments out there, and it's non-drug and non-surgical. There are some treatments you can inject yourself with things that may give you stimulation or blood supply that may give you function, but that's only temporary. We want to get to the cause of the problem. So anyway, that's available too, and we just want to let you know as we get older for men and women, that's an issue. It's a natural issue. Our hormones are changing, but there are ways around it, which is kind of cool. Again, you might lose your romantic desire as we get older for men and women. So you need to work on that. And when it comes to, you got to make time for romance. I know we're busy, and then if you kind of start avoiding romance, start avoiding intimacy, and then it kind of spreads out, and that becomes the new norm. Not a good idea. So if that's an issue, hormone changes can come into play, pinch nerves. We try to get the physical issues resolved. We try to get the chemical issues resolved, but then you have to make the commitment. I'm going to make time for my partner. And that's something you just have to do. It is what it is. And in most cases, you can reignite a lot of that romance. It's not going to be like it was when you were 20. Hormones are different. Brains are different. But it's still very pleasurable. And so that's something you can consider doing. Other things that happen as we go through change of life. You get mood swings, highs and lows. And you might be happy, you might cry, you might be cranky. First of all, you have to do is recognize it. There's something wrong here. That's not me. And once again, we talked about this earlier in another show we were doing, is that if you have a partner or someone in your life, a friend, a family member, a coworker, who's showing these signs, you can say to them, hey, listen, Joe, I work with this guy, and he's got these crazy mood swings, and I'm not sure how to address it. What do you think I should do? Now, Joe will then be able to say, well, most people will answer the way they would want to be addressed. And so you can get some insight as to how that person wants to be addressed. And that works for a lot of things. You might you start dating someone. And you say, hey, listen, somebody at work was saying to me they just started dating somebody and they want to get some ideas on what might be a fun date. And then the person you're dating might say, well, gosh, I really want to go to the Ferris wheel down in Atlanta. I've never been there. I want to go to a hike. I want to go get a bed and breakfast. I want to go kayaking. I want to go whatever. And then you get some insight into that person. It's a neat little head game you can play, and it's a harmless head game. It's a safe way to get an insight into somebody that you want to make happy and make their lives better. Headaches oftentimes come around as we go through change of life, especially for women. Once again, keeping a diet diary is really important. Go to the website, drjoe.com, click on the clinic tab. Under clinic, it says patient forms. Fill out the diet diary. Write down everything you're eating. Write down how you feel. And many times you're able to see, is it coffee? Is it chocolate? Is it stress? Is it artificial sweetener? Is it when I eat meat products? Is it when I eat dairy products? And again, the hormones are there. That's an issue. But you then can manage the hormones because you're triggering a lot of these issues. Number one cause of headaches that I found in my 40 years almost now that I've been working with patients, 37 years in practice and then training, is pinched nerves in the neck. So if you have a pinched nerve in the neck, that's by far the most common cause of headaches, and that's where someone like my team of doctors would come in. So if you have a health issue, neck pain, back pain, shoulder pain, headaches, numbness, tingling, muscle weakness, stop suffering needlessly. Stop wasting time and come see us. In the Atlanta area, we have offices in Marietta, Duluth, Stockbridge, and West Cobb. We would love to be your doctors. We accept people with all insurances, no insurances, cash patients. It's incredibly affordable and incredibly beneficial to get the nervous system, digestive system, and diet right. And we get referrals from medical doctors, other chiropractors. I've had chiropractors send their spouses to us. Students come in. You name a profession, we've gotten referrals from those people. So drjoe.com, it's real simple to make an appointment. Here's the only thing I ask. If you make an appointment, don't not show up. That's a double negative. Don't stiff us. Because we're going to reserve an hour's worth of time at least, maybe more, for you. And if you don't show up, you've messed up my staff, other patients. People could have been had that appointment, and they didn't. Your room was reserved. If you make an appointment, I'm begging you, please show up. It's really important. Normally, the first visit is $720. For our listeners, we've reduced that to $299. That's amazing. Exam, x-rays, consultation, first treatment, going over the x-rays, complete nutrition evaluation. The x-rays alone oftentimes cost more than $299. So if you're serious about wanting to get well, drjoe.com, we would love to see you as a patient. And if you're ever in a car accident, if the car is damaged, you're damaged. I've never seen it any other way. Please come see us immediately. Do not waste time, because every minute that goes by, the accident injury is getting worse and worse and worse. Don't get duped into fake ads, scam lawyers, scam doctors. I'm livid as to what's going on in the healthcare profession when it comes to car accidents. So if you're serious about wanting to get well, everyone in the accident needs to come see us as quickly as possible. drjoe.com, make that appointment. Other things that happen as we go through Change Your Life. You might start getting skin breakouts. Once again, look at your diet and your digestive system. Many times it's a digestive issue. You're not breaking down your proteins or your foods properly, and then cut out the bad foods. So as far as supplements go, what might work? Well, the minimum supplements I think everybody should be taking as they go through Change Your Life or have gone through or are going to would be Dr. Joe's Super Greens and Dr. Joe's Essential Source. They're 2 powders. Mix them together. It's prebiotics, probiotics, digestive enzymes, raw fruits and vegetables in a powder form, complete multivitamin. When I formulated this with my friend Ron out in California, I said, what's going to be the one-stop shop starting point for supplements? And that's when we created Super Greens and Essential Source. So they're on the website, drjoe.com. When it comes to Super Greens, I like the mint flavor. Most people get the regular. I don't know why. I think the mint tastes better. But I like the mint flavor and the Essential Source mixed together. Coconut milk, almond milk, amazing. Love it every day. So that's a great way to go. Women's hormone support, very helpful for women. Men's hormone support, very helpful for men. With men, I'd also recommend the estrogen regulator, because estrogen regulator helps prevent testosterone from converting into estrogen. And one of the problems we have as we get older as men is we have our testosterone is converting into estrogen. And so if we can slow down that process with something called diindolylmethane, which is what estrogen regulator is, it can slow down that process. I take it every day. I take men's hormone support and estrogen regulator every day. Adrenal support. Dr. Joe's adrenal support, because the adrenal glands produce your sex hormones. For women, it's ovaries, men, it's testicles. But as we get older, those organs don't work like they used to. So it's really easy to support sexual hormone function by feeding the adrenal glands. It's not a cure-all. It's not going to make you 20 years old again. But I'd strongly recommend that as well, because the adrenal glands respond to stress, and we're all under stress all day, every day. So by feeding those adrenal glands with Dr. Joe's adrenal support, it can help hormone support. It can help inflammation, because your adrenal glands produce something called prostaglandins, which help mediate inflammation. And it also produces adrenaline, which gives you what? Energy, right? So Super Greens Essential Source, men's and women's hormone support, adrenal support, nitric oxide. Love my nitric oxide. Nitric oxide is the 3rd most popular supplement we have. It opens up the blood vessels, increases circulation to the sex organs, the brain, the heart, the lungs, the liver, the spleen. Couple of warnings on nitric oxide. Number 1, if you have low blood pressure, monitor your blood pressure. It might go too low because it is a vasodilator. So I don't recommend you take it and if you feel bad with low blood pressure. Number 2, I say start with 1, then take 2 the next day, 3 the next day, and 4 the next day. Take it in the morning. It gives me a ton of energy. And so I've got to be careful not to take it at night. I can't sleep. Now, some people can drink coffee at night and sleep. I can't. So be careful with that. So supplement-wise, that's the protocol I put together for hormone support. Now, as we get older, we might start losing muscle mass. We might start losing bone mass. Osteoporosis sets in. Osteoporosis is usually not due to too little calcium. It's due to too much acid. If you're eating acid foods, alcohol, meat, sugar, dairy, coffee, soda, artificial sweetener, breads, cookies, cakes, donuts, pastas, you're sucking calcium out of the bones to neutralize the acid. At the break, before we did this segment of the show, somebody sent a message in about kidney stones. Got to cut out animal proteins. Animal proteins are acid, rob the body of calcium. The calcium gets filtered through the kidneys, can lead to kidney stones. That's an easy treatment for most kidney stone patients. So, go to the website, drjoe.com, excuse me, type in the words osteoporosis. Listen to the show we did on osteoporosis. And we give a whole breakdown as to what to do about that. It's usually, like I said, calcium supplements never, ever have ever solved the problem. And here's the thing. Why, if you're eating the same food now as you did when you were younger, why didn't you have osteoporosis then and now you have it now? It's usually due to the diet and the body's ability to buffer acids in the body. Now, there's hormones involved as well. But if you're having calcium loss, just be careful with that. You can do flaxseed. Flaxseed helps some women with menopausal symptoms. It's a good source of lignans, it's called, and lignans tend to balance out the female hormones. Not all studies have showed that these benefits help. Some have, some haven't. The nice part is there's no harm. Above all, do no harm. And with flax seeds, it's great. What I recommend is don't buy ground flax seeds. Buy the whole flaxseed. Buy them regularly because they can go rancid. And just get a coffee grinder, a Vitamix, or a Magic Bullet, and grind them up right before you eat them, because then the oils don't go rancid. And just need a tablespoon a day, maybe. It's also very good to help the bowels move as well. It's a good source of fiber. So flax seeds might work real well as part of your diet, and you could take the flax seeds and mix them in with your super greens and essential source, and you got a really cool addition to your smoothie. And then some frozen bananas or blueberries or something like that. Black cohosh is a supplement that's been used many times for women with hot flashes. We don't carry a black cohosh. Standard Process does. And Standard Process there's a link on our website to Standard Process. You can't buy their supplements unless you go through a healthcare provider, and you can go through me. I'll let you use my account. And you might want to try something like black cohosh, COHOASH. Vitamin D is really important for men and women as we get older. Vitamin D is a hormone, and most of us don't get enough vitamin D. So I would suggest I take 5 drops of Dr. Joe's vitamin D3 every day. I put it in my Super Greens and Essential Source. Now, with D3, make sure it has vitamin K2 with it, because vitamin D3 helps the immune system, but also helps you absorb calcium from your food. K2 drives it into the bones. So if you're taking vitamin D3 without K2, you may build up calcium in your soft tissues like your muscles and your blood vessels. So D3 with K2, very, very important. It's on our website, drjoe.com, 5 drops a day. All the supplements we talk about, by the way, are on the website, drjoe.com. If you want to come to our office and pick them up, that's fine. You don't have to pay shipping then. In the Atlanta area, we have offices in Marietta, Duluth, Stockbridge, and West Cobb. So just become a patient is the easiest thing to do, and then we'll do a custom nutrition plan for you. Now, if you're not in the Atlanta area, we can always do a phone consultation for a nutrition plan as well if we want to. You just have to call the office, and my staff will set that up for you. But when it comes to supplements, if you pick them up, it's going to save you a couple of bucks. We'll ship them to you. We're more than happy to. I don't know, it's $6, $8, whatever it is for shipping in most cases. But we're more than happy to ship them. But if you pick them up, then you get to say hi and see our pretty faces too. So we're talking today about change of life for men and women, but women specifically with hormones and menopause. But men go through it too. And vitamin D is so important. Now, whenever you get your blood work done, and you should get your blood work done, make sure they test your vitamin D levels. You want to have it between 60 and 80 nanograms per milliliter. 60 and 80 is the ideal scenario. Normal, average, I should say. Average, like, is 40. I don't believe 40 is enough. You need to be about 60 to 80 nanograms per milliliter for vitamin D. And that can help the hormones tremendously because as we get older, our hormones do change. And DHEA, that's like the youth hormone. And natural levels of DHEA start to drop around age 30. Some studies show that DHEA supplements ease menopause symptoms such as low libido and hot flashes. Well, where can we get DHEA from? Dr. Joe's Adrenal Support. So there you go. So all these supplements are out there. They're on the website, drjoe.com. If you have any questions, folks, I'm almost out of time. I'm looking at the clock. Please go to our website, drjoe.com. You could send us questions through the website. Myself and Joe, my faithful assistant, are more than happy to answer any questions you might have. Supplements, chiropractic care, nutrition advice. We've probably done a show on the topic. You could just type in the topic of what you're looking for on the website. And we've probably brought up a show or a podcast or an article that I've written. But we want to be your doctors. We want to be your doctors. We want to help you get well and stay well. So stop suffering needlessly. Let's see if we can slow down that old man time, and let's see if we can get you well. Please follow us on social media. My handle is at Dr. Joe Esposito. All the social media platforms, we're out there. And if you're a VA patient, if the VA sends you to us, the VA will usually pay the bill. They just have to get a referral from the VA. Folks, I'm Dr. Joe Esposito, drjoe.com. Catch you next time.